live. We're live, everybody. Hi, my name's Todd Straugh, Sales Director here for Grant Cardone. Welcome, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Mastermind group for everybody on YouTube, all of our clients, automotive, non-automotive, our YouTube audience. My name's Todd Straugh. We're going to be bringing you guys 20 to 25 minutes today. If you guys have questions, actually what I really want from you guys today as we're getting started, all of your problems. You know, we do a lot of selling here. We do a lot of closing. We're always pushing sales for Cardone University. Right now, we're going to be doing some free answers, okay? You've got a problem in your business, something that you're not getting. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to give us a call at 305-865-8668, or you can text us at that same number now, new product, new service we're trying out. If you've got a problem in your business, something you're not getting, give us a call. We'll answer the questions. And today we're going to talk about the mastermind. We're going to be talking about Cardone University. We're going to be giving you guys a short list of rules and things that you guys need to have every single day in order to win a deal. We're going to be dropping some knowledge on rules and things that are killing deals in the marketplace every single day. And we're going to be checking the feed as we go, so make sure you guys are chatting online. Put your problems there. We'll address those towards the back half of the session. And, you know, for right now, for everybody that's a client, thank you guys for deciding that you're valuable enough and that you've got a big enough problem that you needed to trade some money for our Cardone University. And we want to say thank you by giving you guys some extra content today. So first thing that I want to do, if you guys have a short, if you guys got a pen and a piece of paper, I want to start today with a short list of rules. And when I was coming up with this topic today, I've got two new guys that started yesterday, and I had one of them ask me. He said, "Todd, what are like 2 or 3 things? What are some simple things that, you know, as I'm learning all of this complicated, industry-specific language, as I'm learning the product, as I'm learning the sales process, what are maybe 2 or 3 things that I can know right now that no matter what will make me do well here?" And he asked me that on day one, and I said, "Man, that's a great question." And that's what I'm gonna give you the answer I gave him. I'm gonna talk about those rules, those the shortcuts, and we're gonna talk about what these are. So if you guys have a pen and paper, we're gonna talk about rules that lead to a deal 99% of the time. So the first thing that you guys want to jot down, okay, these are rules. So you guys can these are 4 rules that you must have. Print these out, keep them near your sales desk, keep them in your car when you show up to the office. If you're going into somebody's house, if you're walking into an appointment, keep this short list of 4 questions in your pocket. And before you're about to engage with a customer or as you're in the middle of a conversation, ask yourself these 4 things. And if you've got a yes to all 4, you're probably going to sell something. Rule number 1, what problem is the customer trying to solve? That is the number 1 rule. There's only 2 reasons why people buy anything. Okay, there's only 2. Number 1 is they're trying to solve a problem. Do you know the problem that your product, your service is solving for the customer? Does the customer have an answer for you because you asked them that question? What problem are you looking to solve today? There's no way you can mess up a cycle. There's no way you can ruin a deal by knowing the answer to that question. If you're a manager, right? If you're a manager, if you're an owner, right, you need to be asking this to your salespeople. Hey, what problem are you trying to solve by working for me in this company? Why are you here? If you don't know that, you're going to have disengaged employees. They're not going to be satisfied. They're going to show up late. They're going to leave early. They're going to come up with excuses like the leads suck, the leads are weak, nobody's buying, right? Maybe you're not solving a problem for your salespeople if you're an owner or an executive. If after this call, you need to leave this meeting after the call and find out why every single person in your company is there. What problem are you trying to solve, Robert?
Conversions, man. Conversions,
right?
Let's go.
Conversions. Rob's got problems. No, but why are you here in this company?
Why am I here in this company?
Yeah, like why are you here? Why aren't you with somewhere else down the street? You could be doing this for somebody else.
You're absolutely right. But I'm here because I support the mission. I support the goals. I want to help a team, the mastermind team of people who are making a difference. I want to support that team.
Good. Why else?
Why else? Because of the skill set that I have, I know I can make a difference with it.
Good. Why else?
Because I know that I can 10x my income in the position and vehicle that I'm in.
Good. right? If you're an owner and executive, why are your people there? If you're a salesperson, you're in a customer's house, you're in their face, why are they talking to you? What problem can I solve for you? Rule number 1, get an answer to that question. Rule number 2, if you can't get an answer to that question, it's because they don't have a problem. This happens to me when I walk into Nordstrom's. Right now, I don't need anything. If I go to a department store, I'm good. I've got suits, I've got shorts, I've got jeans, I've got t-shirts, I've got shoes. I don't have a wardrobe issue. When I walk into Nordstrom's, I'm looking for something to catch my eye. I don't have an issue. If somebody said, hey, Todd, what problem can I solve for you? When I walk into Nordstrom's, I'm like, I got no problems. He's like, well, why are you here? I'm looking, man. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that one thing that's going to snap my attention. It's going to say, oh my gosh, I don't have that in my wardrobe. And so I'm looking to fall in love with something. If they don't have a problem, it's because they're looking to fall in love. You know, back in the day, before I worked for Grant, I used to sell knives. $2,000 sets of kitchen cutlery, Cutco knives, and you know, most of the people that I sold knives to, they didn't really have a problem. Everybody had knives in their kitchen. There wasn't one house I ever sold blades in that they didn't already have a set of cutlery. Most of the time, I was making them fall in love with something. Maybe 10 or 15% of the time, they were like, oh yeah, my knives suck, and that's a problem. 80% of the time, I was making them fall in love with the product. So you guys got to decide right now, do I usually solve problems for people, or do I usually need to make them fall in love with something? But those are 2 reasons why a customer would or they would not buy from you. Okay, what problem are you looking to solve? And if there is no problem, then make them fall in love with whatever it is you're selling. Okay, so that was rule number 1 and rule number 2. Rule number 3, are you talking to the decision maker or are you dealing with an influencer? This is a huge problem right here. This
You
is
ask
what
me
we
that question all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to, if you're a salesperson, it's easy to convince yourself that you're talking to a decision maker, okay? This has to be like a black or white thing. It's got to be, I'm on the decision maker or I'm dealing with the influencer, okay? For example, in the Cutco world, it was business to consumer, it was a direct sale. I was either dealing with the husband and he was either my influencer, if I was talking to the husband, but he's got no decision-making power. If it's the wife and I only had the husband, I wasn't going to get a deal that day. Okay? If any of this stuff is making sense, if you've got a problem that maybe we've identified so far, give us a call, 305-865-8668. Okay? We're going to talk about those in just a few minutes. So, are you dealing with the right person? You've got to be asking yourself all day long. Is this the owner? Is this the decision maker? Or am I on the influencer? Okay, number 2, part 2 of this. Once you've identified who you're dealing with, what is the objective? If you're on an influencer, what's the objective of the appointment? Rob, you're talking to an influencer. What's the objective?
The objective is to set an appointment and get a deal done with the guy in charge.
Yes, advance
How's
the
that?
call. Advance the call. If you're on an influencer, your objective should be advance the deal to a decision maker. If
Yes.
you're on the decision maker, Rob, what are you doing right now?
You're closing.
You're closing. That's all
closing.
you're doing is closing. What if you're on an influencer and you're trying to close? Are they going to want to talk to you? Nope. Flunk. Flunk. Are you on the decision maker? Are you dealing with an influencer? Do you know the difference? And do you know the intentions of one of those 2 things? Advance the call or close the deal. Rule number 4. Last rule before we start dealing with some of these text questions at 305-865-8668, or if you're calling in, we've got one more rule to success for new people, for veterans, for people new to sales, people that aren't even in sales could be using these. The last rule: who is the ideal prospect? Who is the ideal prospect? If you look at your company, if you look at all the different salespeople, if you look at the person that's selling the most product, who buys your product the most, and how much time are you spending with that customer? There's a certain group of people that typically buy certain products or certain services. For us, owners and executives. That's who we like to spend a lot of time with. the owners and the executives. We like to spend a lot of time with those people because they've got our money. Grant's got that who's got my money. Owners and executives is our audience. We've got products and services for salespeople, right? For those of you guys that took matters into your own hands, you just bought it. If we didn't do our job and get in front of your owner or your executives, then you had to buy the program for $9.95 on cardoneu.com. That was our fault, not yours. We should have sold the deal to your company. If we need to sell a deal to your company, if we're not doing our jobs, make sure to put your company name in. Who's the guy over there? One of my people in my sales room will get on the phone. We'll cold call him. We won't tell him it was you, and we'll do everything in our power to get your company Cardone University. Who is the ideal prospect? Now, if your company's not going to buy it for you, then there's no reason for you to be missing all these deals. You need to be buying the program for yourself. If they're not going to do it for you, then you got to take responsibility. Take responsibility. Let us know what company you're in, why we need to be calling, who's the guy we need to get a hold of. Make it anonymous. Who cares? Give us the information. I've got 12 salespeople fully trained, qualified to make a cold call. We know how to set appointments. We know how to build value. We just don't know your company exists. We haven't got to you yet. That's our fault. Find out your ideal prospect and spend all day long with them. For us in the Cutco world, it was married couples over 30 that owned homes. That's all I wanted to spend time with. If I was in an apartment building and I had a great presentation, I couldn't get a deal 99% of the time. I was in the wrong place. You need to be spending all day with the people that buy the most products. Go into your company and audit your sales. Ask your business owner, who should I be spending all day with? If there was one customer type, if there was one type of person or group of people that I should be dealing with, who is it? And that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to concentrate all my time and energy on that group of people. I'm going to go all in on that one group. For me in Cutco, married couples over 30 that owned a home. There was no way I was walking into a single-story home. There was no way I was doing a deal in a mobile home park because they couldn't buy anything from me typically. Of course, there's exceptions. Of course, there's all these differences, but spend all day with people that buy from you. Let's see what's going on. Do we have any callers right now, or are we going to be checking the chat? All right, let's see. Let's see here. Question.
So Todd, what's the best way? You got a new guy, came in, I bought the $9.95, I'm looking at the program. What's the first thing I should do?
First thing you should do.
I'm logged in. I just logged in for the very first time. What is the first thing I need to do?
First thing you need to do is actually you need to do two things.
What are the first two things I need to do, Todd?
Number one, you need to do 6 segments every morning before 9 a.m. Before you touch a customer, you need to be doing 6 segments every morning. Mm-hmm. You could do 3 when you wake up at 6 o'clock. You can do the other 3 right before you pick up the phone.
But there's a lot of blocks over there with a lot of content.
There's a lot of content. You need to be doing at least 6 segments a day. You could do 3 in the morning and 3 at night, but at least 6 per day. You need to go in order. So you're going to be starting with the selling basics. So it starts here in the basics. Why the basics? That's like learning basic science before we teach you chemistry, before we teach you physics. You're going to learn the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s of how to get a deal done. Once you're done with that, 3 to 6 segments, then you go to understanding the buyer. If you don't know the customer, you're not going to get a customer. There's no way to get a customer if you don't know who they are, what problems they have. You got to speak their language. Understanding the buyer comes before the sales process. We didn't just make up this order. It's in that order for a specific reason. What is selling? Who am I selling to? And how do I actually do the sales process? So you want to graduate through that sequence. So you got to be doing at least 6 segments per day because there's a lot of content inside. There's a tremendous amount of content inside. So that's the first thing. You need to have an always. I always do 6 segments every morning, or I do 3 in the morning and I do 3 at night, but you want to have a rule of something that you always do. I always do X amount of videos before X time every day, no matter what. And you graduate through the sequence. The second thing I would do, Robert, if I was a salesperson, is I would make a list. The hardest part about the university sometimes is you don't even know what you don't know. A bad question to ask a salesperson is, what can I help you with? Because they don't know typically. They don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you guys, that's if that's why you haven't bought the program because you think you know it all, that's a problem for us. If you don't think you have a problem, you're not going to buy the program. Because right now you don't know what problems you have in your life. If you knew that they were problems, you probably would have fixed them by now. So instead of asking, what do I need help with, make a list of what am I not getting right now? What are you not getting? I'm not getting appointments. Okay. I'm not getting deals closed. Good. I'm not getting conversations with owners. Good. I'm spending 6 hours with customers and nobody's buying anything. Good. Nobody's calling me back. Good. I'm still single. I'm not getting a girlfriend. That's a problem. I'm not motivated. I'm not getting X, Y, Z. I'm getting this far in the process, but I can't get to that next step. And you just need a list. When you walk into this program in the morning, what you should do is you should have a list of 3 or 4 things that you know right now you're not getting. And when you go into the system, you say, I'm not getting deals closed, so you hit the closing box. I'm not getting customers to come back in for my next appointment. You're hitting the follow-up box. You're not feeling motivated. You hit the motivation box. You can't convert an incoming call. You're in incoming calls. You can't get a girlfriend at the bar. You need to handle objections in the greeting because you're getting crushed in the greeting. What am I not getting in my life? And you show up into Cardone University every day and you start solving your own problems. But don't ask yourself what you need help with. Ask yourself, what am I not getting today?
Super strong.
That's it. Let's see what we got here. How many hours in total in Cardone University? Too many. By the time you get through everything once, we've already shot new content. That's a question we hear. How often do you update content? I mean, we're in here almost daily shooting a show.
Mm-hmm.
Grant's doing keynotes out there. Then we drop the keynotes in. We're shooting new content. We've got it. This is an expensive studio. We're shooting content. You sold Cutco too? Tough sales. Richard Cinta. That's awesome. Cutco alumni. How much did you sell, Richard? Let's see here. Rob, what other question do you think a new salesperson or someone thinking about Cardone University, what else would they want to know from us?
Talk about, okay, my manager says, go find new business. And I'm like, what do you mean? How do I do that? How do I find new business? Prospecting is really what I'm asking you. But if I've never prospect before, what do I do?
Good question. Number 1, come up with 5 sources. 5 different areas. Number 1, my cell phone. That's a source. Every single person in my cell phone is a resource. If you're not getting leads, like in Cutco, I didn't get a list of leads. Nobody gave me leads. My first source was my cell phone. Every single friend in my cell phone, they all had a mom, they all had a dad, and they usually lived in a home. That's number 1. Number 2, Facebook. Number 3, LinkedIn. Number 4, Facebook targeted ads.
I love
Number
LinkedIn.
5, Google search.
Mm.
Google search. When I came here, I didn't get a list of leads. You know what I did? I said, hey, who buys all of our programs? He said, well, we have a lot of car dealers on the program. So I Google searched car dealerships in San Diego, car dealerships in Texas, car dealerships in Michigan, and I would just Google search. All right, we've got Richard from Texas. What's going on, Richard? Pick a problem. Give me your problem. What problem can I fix for you today?
Hey, I'm the guy that made the comment that I sold Cutco too.
Good.
Back when.
Good. How much did you sell?
I did it when I was 17 years old, and I probably did it for like 3 or 4 months, and went all over Houston selling stuff, and it gave me a lot of courage to just go knock on strange people's doors. So and from there I started buying houses, so it sort of gave me a leg up to.
You know, Richard, this is you know what, Richard? Let me cut you off really quick. This is actually a really good thing right here. This is a really good thing. My question was, how much Cutco did you sell? Did he answer my question?
No.
You need to get an answer to every question. If you're a salesperson, this happens all the time. You greet the customer, "Hi, my name's Todd. What's yours?" And they start rambling on some tangent, but they never answered your question. This is a good tip right here. If you're a great, that's in the rules of success. It's also in the top traits of great salespeople. How do you do that? You do this right here. Excellent. That's awesome, Richard. So you sold Cutco, and then you segued into houses. That's excellent. But let me ask you something, Richard. How much Cutco did you sell?
I sold about maybe $500 to $600.
My man. That's awesome. That's more than most people.
Yeah.
What'd you learn in the process there?
Well, I overcame some fears of just, presenting something that, you remember the demonstration, like fingers with a scissors where you could cut a penny in half?
Yeah.
That was like a wow factor, which, would demonstrate the sharpness of it. And it's just like if you had a good product, it sort of sells itself, almost. You just have to get in front of the right people.
Awesome. Okay, so what's your question today?
All right, so I'm going through the new courses, and one of the things that keeps coming up over and over again is you have a much better, I think it's like 9 times the success whenever you're able to text during a phone call, thing. And I was wondering, do you know if there's any apps that are out there that can help you save a lot of canned replies so that way you're not busy texting, you just hit a button and it's already sent?
So to clarify, your question is, how do I get more cell phone numbers? What's a good way to ask for cell phone numbers?
No, like if you're like on a phone call and you're trying to text them enough, let's say they're calling from your cell phone number, you already have their cell phone number, but you need to text them during the call. Say, here, I'm going to send you something over your text, check and make sure you got it. What's a good app or a way to include a bunch of saved replies that you can access easily during the phone call?
Not sure I'm understanding the question, but what I think you're saying is, what are some good things to send the customer when you're on the call? Is that the question?
Almost. To save time, if you're a slow typer, is there a preset something you can save text that you're going to be sending to, like,
you're looking for canned responses that you can save, right?
I just texted you a link to it.
You there?
So is there any way to save that link somewhere instead of typing it in from scratch every time?
I'm not sure, man, but if you find that app, man, you let us know.
Please.
If you let us know, we'll put it in the system or something. But, we typically send the text message. What we're sending out to clients as we're on the phone is we're sending video links.
Video messages.
Selfie video messages. We're sending videos of customers using the program that are winning with the program, and we're hitting the prospect with it. Hey, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to send you a video of one of my customers, Mary. She's one of my best customers. I'm going to send you a video of how she likes the product as you're deciding on what time you want to come into our store. As you're deciding on what time to come into the store, allow me to send you some more information, all right? Thanks a lot for calling, Richard. I appreciate you, man. All right.
Good, man. Good. You're doing it.
All right, good. So we've got a few text messages here. This is a long one right here. Let's see here. So basically, the question is, what do I do if I'm in a sales slump? Okay, you're not a rookie. You're not this isn't your first month in the business. You've been there before. You've done the deal already. You've been successful, but for some reason right now, you're just not making sales. What do I do? It looks like he's been in the business for 2 years, and for some reason there's something stuck. He just can't get deals right now. First thing I would do, number one, it's called A cubed. A cubed is the answer for everything. Number one, how's your attitude? There's only 3 reasons somebody would be in a sales slump. Number one, their attitude's off. If your attitude is off, it means something's going on in your life that you need to handle. You need to confront something. You got somebody hitting the brakes on you. Grant talks about this. You're trying to go this way 100 miles an hour, and somebody's slamming the brakes on your vehicle, and you're basically ruining all your machinery. So if there's an issue with your attitude, you need to look around and figure out who's putting the brakes on you. Who is that person? Is it a girlfriend telling you that you're working too much? Take time off. Is it a family member saying that the job sucks? Why do you work there? Is somebody ragging on you? Do you have a bad influence in your life that's holding you up right now? You got to confront them or you got to get them out of there. That's if your attitude's off. The next thing, if your attitude's great and you're like, man, that's not a problem for me. I'm good. My wife's supportive. My family loves the business. Everything's good. Then the second thing you need to take a look at is your approach. Approach is, what am I saying to the customers? Am I skipping steps? Am I not doing something that I used to be doing? Did I get so good at the job that I started taking shortcuts? And you know what you should do? You should pull out the new guy manual and make sure you're doing everything that you were taught on day one, because that's when people start skipping. They're so good that they can skip stuff. You know, Rob and I had a conversation about this recently. That was this was actually the problem. Rob came in. You know, I don't know if you care if we talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, Rob's like, hey, Todd, you got a minute?
The biggest thing was like, what is happening? What's going on? And Todd
tell him what you told. Tell him what you told me as soon as the first thing that you started the conversation with.
Oh, I said every single person I've spoken to, I've sent out a proposal, I've sold it right, everything is good, and then it's dropping out. Every single one. Everything is being done. Like, they've got it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, why does this keep happening? And so I came to you for help because I'm like, I don't understand. And then we started going through the process, and you personally, which I thank you for, walked me through the entire sales process from greeting to fact finding all the way straight through. And I said, oh man, I've been studying so much closing material on Cardone University. My attention's only on closing, and I've been violating the sales process. I've been violating it. So I needed to get back into the process, into the service of the customer. How can I provide a service instead of going for the close all the time? Like, there was a sales process, but there were some steps that were out.
Yeah, so Rob was doing all of his training in the close. So he basically did the greeting, and then he was telling them the price, and then they went straight for the close. But the problem is,
well, the problem was that there was no balance. And I hate to use the word balance, but yeah. I felt like I wasn't that strong in the close, so right. I absorbed all that knowledge, right. And I didn't put enough attention on the whole process. Really, right. Is what happened.
Right, and so fact finding, what problem was the customer trying to solve was missing.
Exactly.
So that kind of goes back to that list that we did earlier, which is what problem is the customer. So we identified that piece was missing in the conversation. We were skipping that, going straight to the explanation of what we're selling. Here's the numbers and let's roll. But we didn't really solve a problem, and we didn't really find out what the problem was. So in that case for Robert, the good thing is that he asked. Most people won't even ask. Most people just keep wrecking deals. Most people nobody wants to admit that they're wrong or that they're costing the company money. But, Rob did the right thing. He said, hey, I need help. Something's not right. Here's what I'm doing. There's nothing wrong with his attitude. His attitude was great. He was up-toned. He was like, man, this is awesome. I want to win. I need to win. I need to be doing more. So what's wrong? So attitude, check. Approach. It was the system. It was his way of dealing with the customer was off a little bit. There was one thing that we skipped, and it threw the brakes on the whole deal. Mm. So check your attitude, double check your approach. If you've been doing this for a long time, go back and look at the new guy manual and make sure you're still doing all those fundamental steps. And the last one is activity. Check your attitude. If that's good, go to approach. If your approach is good, then you need to take a look at how many times you're actually in the marketplace repeating the actions. In our office, it's phone calls. How many phone calls are you making every day? If your attitude's good, your approach is good, then the activity's just off. You need to do more. So I hope that answers your question. I think his name was, I lost it now, but his name was Michael. So Michael, if you're in a sales slump, check your attitude, check your approach, check your activity. If it's your attitude and your activity, or if it's your attitude and the approach, identify what's off, and then you're going to go inside. So if you're lacking in motivation, you're going to hit the motivation box. For Rob, his homework was, hey, go back and look at the sales process. Mm-hmm. He was spending all day in closing. We had to push him back into the sales process, and now his sales are back up. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, magically.
Magic.
All right, so I think that's all the time we have for today. If you guys want more questions, more help, specific scenarios, info at grantcardone.com, support at grantcardone.com. Even Todd, if you want to send me an email, Todd at Grant Cardone. Send me your problem. I'll guide you through the system. If you don't have the system yet, you can go to cardoneu.com and you can get, I think it's normally 13 grand. When we used to sell it, it was 13 grand. Now it's $9.95. So if you don't have it, but you need it, if you don't think you need it and you do need it, $9.95, CardoneUniversity.com. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much.